Preetham and Joe. We want to take those.
Absolutely. I think, Joe, the first question is how are you using Superbase in the demo? So probably you can answer that one.
Yeah, just to set up the tables that were used for referencing the program requirements and the setting up the audit trail. And it's connected via SnapLogic's Postgres snaps.
Any other questions, team? This is an opportunity. We have a few minutes left. So if you have any questions about the demo, the solution architecture, or the different kinds of solutions that Blue Altair provides helping institutions, we'll be happy to help answer those right now. Okay, there's a question from Tyler. When having the agent access Salesforce, is it doing so via service account? And if so, how do you manage a given user's access to different data domains? That is, can someone in the biology department see case info in the computer engineering department? Let me take this and then I'll hand it over to Preetham and Joe to take this even further. Now, with any security systems, I think the first question is the access controls, right? So what we do is anytime a user is logging into the platform, we capture that information. We exchange that information with IDP to figure out who the person is and be able to do that. Now, if I were to just use a simple service account, it becomes very challenging because service account is going to shield all the underlying thing inside it. But we do have mechanisms where, in addition to using service accounts, we can have ways to incorporate or capture the user who is using or who is behind the service account to help understand the information. And this is where JOT and other things comes in. But by just simply using a service account by itself may not be possible, because at the end of the day, it's a service account that's talking to your backend application. We need to have some sort of a user identity to be present for us to be able to access that information. Happy to take this and discuss this further, Tyler, to showcase how SnapLogic architecture can help with this. Preetham or Joe, anything you would like to add to this?
No, I think you covered it, Ravi. I think from a very simple answer right now can be treat your agents like humans. Whatever privileges you give to your humans across departments. For example, if I am from, as you said, I'm from the biology department, I shouldn't be able to access computer engineering's data. Similarly, your agents also have to have those kind of privileges, those kind of permissions. So when you start thinking in that space, think of agent not as a software program, but someone who is actively helping you as a person. I think that simplifies a lot of things. And obviously, there's a lot of strategy around it, which we can help you with. But as Ravi said, the platform, which is SnapLogic, enables it by default internally as well. Okay, I see a couple of questions on Q&A. How can you run Python codes from SnapLogic? That's a straightforward answer. SnapLogic by default provides out of the box connectors or snaps, as we call them, and you can easily extend the platform to run any kind of custom code that you have as well. If there's any specific kind of scenario that you're asking about, we are happy to answer that as well. But at this stage, I think that's the easiest answer I can give you. Another question that we have is, will the disparate data sources, many data orgs have EDW? How would that fit into your architecture? Joe, probably you can take that example, because data warehouse is something that you deal with on a day-to-day basis with your advancements as well. So probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it can just plug directly in to your data fabric. You can either have data import to your data warehouse, to be directly to be consumed for whatever purposes you might have in there for analytics, or it can sit. Yeah. I mean, it just plugs into the data fabric. Ravi, I don't know if you have a better way to answer that.
Sure. I think just trying to understand this question, right? So I'm going to read it again, Amy. Will the disparate data sources, many data orgs have EDW, how would that fit into it? So we would consider EDW, your enterprise data warehouse, as another touch point or a source to which SnapLogic is going to connect to. SnapLogic already provides a rich set of EDW connectors, whether it's Snowflake, Databricks, you name those, giving you the ability to ingest data as well as push data back to them. Now, lately, people talk about ETL and ELT, right? Because when it comes to AI, you are sometimes having to work with a huge amount of data sets in place. SnapLogic provides you with full support for ETL, which is extract, transform, load, as well as ELT functions to support push down transformations inside. So to answer your question, yes, we do understand that not just operational data, but analytical data that's needed is stored in EDW, and SnapLogic provides you with native integration and processing capabilities with any EDW platforms in place. Hope that answered your question, Amy.
Another question coming in from Ashish. Yeah, we still have few minutes to go. So for institutions just starting to modernize, what is the single best quick win automation you recommend to build immediate stakeholder trust? This is a loaded question. It all depends on who you're building that automation for, what your goal is. As we said, we, as part of this webinar, we showed the top 10 high impact use cases. Obviously, a lot of thought goes into those use cases. These are various departments that have these disparate use cases. But something that adds immediate value that we have seen is something that is repeatable. That's the kind of way that you think about AI first. Don't try to solve a problem that probably a very highly experienced human is probably doing on his day-to-day, right? If you try to take that problem and try to solve it first, that goes into a lot of complexity initially. I think the first kind of step should always be to identify what processes there are, which the humans today, let's say your staff or your business leaders, are doing that is consuming a lot of their time outside of their day-to-day responsibilities. Tasks that are common, that are repeatable, and which is kind of taking the value out of their day-to-day tasks, right? So if you identify those use cases first and see how to integrate your unified data fabric or your agentic AI, I think that solves your immediate sort of bottlenecks, which is freeing your staff so that they can focus on their day-to-day responsibilities, with the AI sort of augmenting and acting as their sort of an assistant in their day-to-day, right? That's my perspective on it. Ravi, if you have your own perspective, please share.
No, I think you covered it well, Preetham. Okay, with no other questions, I think we are almost on time. So if you have okay, I saw something else coming in. So let's see. Okay, great. Thank you again, team, and for joining in. I hope the session was useful. If you have additional questions that we could not cover today, please send them our way, and we will make sure to respond back. And we will also send over the recording to all the registrants who have attended today. So thank you again, Preetham and Joe, for joining and for giving a great presentation. And team, like I said, please reach out to us, and looking forward to connect with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Cheers. Have a great one.